Welcome into my home. Thank you for welcoming me into yours in this really strange time that we find ourselves in. It's nice to know that we can still maintain contact and still convey love to each other and our presence and our ears to listen to other people as we all go through this really uncertain and anxious time. And with that in mind, I want to invite us to just begin this just by having a few seconds just of mental stillness. I know that perhaps a lot of us have found ourselves in isolation and things like that this week, and we perhaps may be more physically alone than we have been in a long time. But what we haven't been afforded is a great deal of mental stillness as this fast-paced virus takes over our lives in different and various ways and changes them and challenges us to respond to them. And so I invite you just to have a few breaths, a few seconds, even just look out the window, something outside of yourselves, just to feel still, to invite God's presence in with you intentionally in this moment. What has struck me in recent days is how essential love is going to be to get us through this. And I've always had this real belief in the power of love to change, to transform, to hold up our lives when we need it. It is an invisible force, stronger than this virus, the virus that has caused chaos and fear all across the world and changed our lives so dramatically. But I know that love is stronger because I see it everywhere. I see it in the healthcare professionals, those who are putting themselves at risk in order to keep the most critically ill people cared for. I see it in the teaching profession, in those who had to say goodbye to their students and be as upset and as heartbroken as their students for the experiences that they're going to miss out with, but also for the uncertainty as they go forward and continue to teach our key workers' children, as they continue to be a calm and measured influence on our children's lives. I see it in the retail sector, in those trying desperately to keep food on our shelves, who are working day and night to keep up with the extra demand. I see it in those stepping in to help others at this time, people they don't know, but just making sure that they can get hold of the supplies that people need. I see it in our communities where people have made sure that everybody has a point of contact to make sure that nobody is alone. And I'm really proud actually of how far we've come about talking about how mentally and emotionally difficult this time is. Because it strikes me a few years ago, even a decade ago, we wouldn't have been as open to understanding what the mental ramifications are and what the effects on our well-being is going to be. And these are the things that are going to get us through. I had my first cry yesterday. I've been in isolation for 9 days now, and it always strikes me that the little things so easily become the big things. And the only way we're actually going to get through this is to have compassion and love for each other, because we are asked to love our neighbour as we love ourselves. And I think that's been a real particular challenge this week, as we've seen people panic buying and seemingly being selfish and making sure that they've got enough at the detriment of others. But our call is not to judge people. I don't believe that the majority of panic buying has been selfishly thought out. The language that the government is giving us is triggering all our fight and flight responses. And we don't know that people aren't stocking up because they know they won't have a job at the end of this. We don't know that they're not a single parent who is going to have to go through weeks of isolation with children on their own, with nobody else to get help for them. We don't know that the people aren't stocking up so that they can give it to the most vulnerable and elderly in their society, in their places. We just don't know. But I know that shouting and judging people won't help. It will just cause more panic and more isolation and shame. Instead, we can all stock up on the most basic essential in this, and that is love. And we can share it. And perhaps by doing this, we can reassure others that people will be there for them, that they don't need to panic buy, that actually there are people around them that will help, that will step in. Because now might be a time for healing these rifts that we've carried in our lives for such a long time, that seem small now in comparison to what's going on. Maybe now is the time to reach out and offer unexpected love, because we do all need love. Because when we are scared, we scramble to make sure we've secured whatever it is that we can make secure. But actually love offers security. A smile, a phone call, an email, a letter. These are the things that are going to get us through this. And gratitude to show the people who are working flat out to keep our services going, to keep people alive, to make sure that everybody is treated with dignity and respect. And now may be the time that we see how much God's wonderful creation looks after us. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but the sun is still rising and setting, and it is still beautiful. Spring is blooming, and none of us are excluded from that, even if it's just from a window. God's creation looks after us. It gives us light and dark to order our lives. It gives us air which is already fresher from no pollution or less pollution. And how do you know that those birds that are singing aren't singing a song for you? Because we must seek out the invisible acts of love, because these give us hope. And perhaps we need hope now more than ever. And to hope is to love. And hope rarely arrives at your door in a great big gift-wrapped present with your name on it. Hope whispers through humanity and creation. To see a flower that has cracked through the pavement shows us the strength of beauty, a love that is determined to be seen. Hope can be a tiny shred of light in the darkness. To believe in hope is to believe in a possibility beyond our control. Love can calm our here and now, and hope dares us to look beyond that. And with love, hope is always possible. And the Gospels are full of stories of love and hope from Jesus to us. And we all have a chance here to write a new story, to begin a new chapter. And I pray these chapters are first entitled Love and Hope. And so I start mine by saying that you are loved and you are valued. You are not alone. And God promises to always be with us. Reach out to others if you need. Allow yourselves to be loved. And allow yourselves to be loved in the way that you give out love. And if we can do that, then we can dare to hope that light will burst on through our horizons. Hope doesn't mean that times aren't tough, that things aren't scary, that this is not anxious. But hope allows us to look beyond it. Hope is the day when we're all going to meet again. where we're going to give each other a hug and touch each other's faces, knowing that our bonds of connection are now stronger and more resilient than ever. And I look forward to that day. And I'm just going to finish with a short prayer, which is from the United Reformed Church Handbook, and it's written by a lady called Heather White. Becoming your kingdom. Valuing others, that is at the heart of your call. Loving God, valuing others. You invite us to experience the different, to cultivate relationships on the edge. Emulate the ways of Jesus as we serve in our communities. Opening our minds, opening our eyes and our hearts with your unconditional love. You nudge us beyond the confines of our normal toward the bigger picture, the all-encompassing world of your creation. This is life, here and now, eternity mixed with the everyday. Eternal God, daring us to be different, offering generosity in place of scarcity. You encourage us to journey out and join with the voices on the edge, to create a place of love and hope, of light and justice, a place where all can grow and become the fullness of their humanity. You invite us to become your kingdom. Amen. And as we move forward, we will seek to find different ways of being in touch with you. But for now, thank you so much for welcoming me into your homes, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care.